This is Project CB News, where the truth matters.
With just a few words. But let me start off by thanking you all for welcoming us so warmly here in Sedibeng. And as I said, this Imbizo has been much more special than the others that we have held, because the views that we heard here are representative of the various stakeholders, but also the various sub-regions of Sedibeng. And I'm glad that the cooperation that we have had is demonstrative of the work that is already underway. This is our fourth Imbizo this year. We launched the Imbizo in 3 areas the previous year, in KZN, in the Eastern Cape, and in the Northwest. And this year, this is the 4th Imbizo, and we are going to go on to have others. We have been this year to Mahikeng, the Northwest, in Mangaung, in the Free State, and in Carolina, in Mpumalanga. And here we are at the home of our Constitution. In case you don't know, this is the home of our Constitution, because this is where our Constitution was signed by the father of our nation, President Mandela. He signed it here, and for very good reasons, because this is a very special place. Premier has already said, well, industrialization really started here, and the Constitution was signed here. And he also said the district development model has been practiced here before we even came for the launch. So you are doing the various things for the first time, in case you did not know. Hale CD4, hale na le ditsebe, ke a kgolwa le ikutlwetse le lona. Le tshwantse hore le shape matsoho ka bane le batho ba tsamaelang ko pele. As a country, we have many challenges. There are many challenges that we are facing, but from what the Premier said right from the beginning, much as we have all these challenges are being addressed. We are addressing these challenges one by one. The one challenge that really stood out and got the nation to look at your area with sad eyes was the sewage that was just flowing into the Vaal River, which we all heard about. We even sent the Deputy President here, and we sent a number of ministers. Ministers came here to address the challenge, and I'm glad to hear from the Premier today, as he was earlier reporting to me, which he also said here. This challenge of sewage, of sanitation, is being addressed on an ongoing basis. And Minister Mkhunu and his department, working together with Rand Water and a number of engineers, are addressing this. So we are addressing the challenges that prevail in this area, and we are implementing the various issues that have to do with our district development model, because this model was put in place to enable various government departments to be able to work together. And believe you me, we are now practicing it more than ever. Even recently, when we addressed the issue of ESCOM, the electricity crisis that we have faced, which led to stage 6 load shedding, we called all the departments that have to do with energy in our country They worked together, and in the end we came up with a plan that we finally put on the table and to the nation, which proves the real importance of the district development model, where we get rid of the silo approach to government at national, provincial, and local government level. It is a break with the past that we have had. And here at local level, at district level, it is aimed at making sure that our communities who have felt neglected in the past become part of the whole process of resolving the challenges as they are properly and fully consulted. And that is why, you know, Mr. Klopis could stand up here and say, we want to work with government. We want to help government to address the challenges that are here. And he was articulating a view that many of the companies that are here, not only companies, by the way, non-profit organizations, NGOs, and a variety of structures that are represented here, who are now telling us very clearly that we want to work with government because it is when we work together that we are able to achieve a great deal of success. We are therefore here to listen. And I'm rather glad that we've listened. As I said, ordinarily we get 40 people to make inputs today. We went beyond that, almost 50. But the written submissions are going to take us almost to 70 or 80 submissions that we are going to listen to very carefully. And it's not only that, Kaubane, many of them are so and the suggestions are representative of the views of many people, even more than what we have here. And the presence of so many members of cabinet and provincial council, as well as local government, just shows you the seriousness with which we approach this. So I want to thank each one of you who spoke today, who raised their concerns and who put them in writing. I also want to thank those, yes, who offered constructive criticism, because it was not only, you know, questions that you raised, and some of you have raised constructive criticism and advice. And we've also heard about the many challenges that are present here. And by far, unemployment is the biggest challenge. And it is the biggest challenge because over many years, businesses and factories here in Sedibeng have closed. Even as we were driving through, I looked around and realized what a number of these factories have closed, and many of them have shrunk, and they are no longer the big employers that they used to be. So this area used to be the key industrial hub of our economy. But what I can say, not only from what the Premier said, but also from what I know is on the table, the Gauteng government has ambitious plans to revitalize Sedibeng by developing agriculture, and you heard from Minister Titiza, by developing logistics, tourism, and industries as well. And these plans are pivoted around, they revolve around the Vaal Special Economic Zone, which we have heard has the potential of creating up to 170,000 jobs over the next few years. That is a serious number of jobs that will be created right here in Sedibeng. The SEZ is also going to include another wonderful concept that I like, which is the Vaal River City. We've had this wonderful resource for years and years, the river. If you look at other countries, they always have their cities around the river. And we had our city, our main city, Johannesburg, around Welkom, around gold mines. Now with our mining sector, particularly those gold mines, having really run out of ore, I'm glad that the Gauteng government is raising their eyes beyond the horizon. They're coming up with an ambitious plan where, yes, you could create a city around the Vaal River as part of the special economic zone that is going to be set up here. And this SEZ will support a skilled workforce. It will enable producers of goods and services to connect suppliers to markets and support new local industries. And I'm particularly pleased for it. There are quite a number of black manufacturers who are coming through. And it's important that we should focus on that as well as part of our Black Industrialist program at national government level. We want to promote those who were willfully, intentionally locked out of participation in the economy of our country. And we want to focus on this area for reindustrialization, and the initiatives that the government in this province is doing is also to hold investment conferences. Recently, they held the Sedibeng Investment Conference, where, as the Premier said, they received pledges that go up to 45 billion rand. And that 2 industrial parks in Sebokeng will also be upgraded. Now, that is serious. In addition to the growth of business, we have been working to expand mass public employment programs such as the Presidential Employment Stimulus, the Community Works Program, and also the Expanded Public Works Program, which has an element of employing young people. And let me say, the issue of ageism has been raised quite strongly with us. And it does not mean when we say we want to ensure that young people get employment, because we've got 64% of the people who are unemployed in our country being young people. It does not mean, Corey, we are rejecting those who are 36 and higher up. Libona, we are going to be focusing on them. So this notion of ageism, just throw it out of the window. We are going to create jobs for all the people in our country. Now, the other important issue is to focus also on maintenance and also to focus on vandalism of our infrastructure. That is something where we want the community to work with us. And as I was saying earlier, the damage at the transformers are rona, we know who is doing it. And we also know who is vandalizing public infrastructure. It is important for us as a nation, as a people, to say no to the vandalization of our public infrastructure. We must draw a line and say, no, we will not allow this to happen, and it cannot happen in our name. Because when public infrastructure is damaged and vandalized, when a pipeline is damaged, it stops delivering water, the transformers are broken, and a whole range of other public infrastructure are damaged to the detriment of the community at large. And therefore, we need to turn our backs on that, but more importantly, expose those that we know are damaging public infrastructure. have a lot of problems that we are facing today, and service delivery is one of the key ones. And through the process that the Premier has spoken about, we should be able to address social service delivery challenges, from water to refuse removal to creating an environment that is clean. As I was coming, I saw a lot of paper and plastics all over. And I want to urge our municipal mayors to address this issue. We cannot, in this place that used to be the industrial hub of our country, allow our people to live in squalor, in a dirty place. As government, we are taking a lot of processes to implement our economic recovery and reconstruction plan. And in doing so, we are touching on many of the issues that needs to be addressed. And as many of you alluded to here, the various issues you raised, we will be able to address them. And I believe from human settlements, from housing, Minister Kubai has conceded, or yes, over many years, we have not paid attention to our hostels. Many of our people, a number of our people still live in hostels, and we have basically neglected them. So we will admit, for there, we have been quite neglectful. And I would like to see us go to those hostels and revamp them. And even go to those apartments where there's water and sewerage and revamp them. Our municipalities must pay attention to what needs to be done so that our people can live with dignity. We cannot allow a situation where our hostels, which were built in the 60s to feed the migrant labor system, to the extent that they continue, they should continue being places of squalor, places where our people should not really be living in. So, but I'm pleased here, Sedibeng, that there are 7 human settlement projects. And as I've gone through the documents, these are mega projects that are going to build hundreds and thousands of housing units for our people. When she said, and that is so when we look across the country. A 75-year-old mama or mkhono still does not have a house, and she's never had a house. And I'm saying, Masipala, let us also focus on the old people and give them the dignity that they deserve. With the military veterans, the Deputy President has been working tirelessly with the Department of Defense and military veterans to address the challenges that our military veterans are facing in relation to housing, to health, and also job opportunities. I know that the Premier's office has also been working on this. There may be maybe some gaps here and there. And these are gaps which we can address, and I'd like those to be addressed as well. I'm also pleased that with the 3 municipalities that we have, one of them completely being under a different party, I'm glad that even the mayor is here and he has heard some of the challenges that our people have, and that those that are under the governing party, the issues are going to be addressed. We want to see improvement of the lives of our people from a service delivery point of view from now on with immediate effect. or there must be changes. So today I am rather pleased for it. We have been able to deal with a number of issues, and also the issues that have to do with some of the key challenges, including electricity issues, and that is why even the CEO of ESCOM has been here for the Minister of Public Enterprises, Minister of Water and Sanitation, some of the key areas where our people have been having problems. And I'm also glad to hear, Premier, for there's an agreement on the payment for usage of electricity. And I'm hoping for that is going to be implemented. And I'm also pleased for the roads are also being improved. The Premier reported for it, there's a road where improvements have been taking place, where the provincial government has been focusing on making sure for it, the road is improved. And the potholes, we now have a project which is led by the Minister of Transport, which is going to be executed by Sanral to close potholes. I basically said I want potholes to be addressed throughout the country, and that is now going to get underway. And the Minister of Transport project Valazonke or the project the potholes and that is also going to be addressed. Crime is a big problem in this district, as it is in many other parts of the country. A number of people today also spoke about the challenge of crime, sense of insecurity in their areas, and I'm very pleased that we've got a number of our police officials here. We've also got the Minister of Police here as well. They have listened and they have heard. Or there are quite a number of areas where we need to pay attention. What we have now become more determined on is that we are going to address the question of crime, be it illegal mining, be it any form of criminality. We are going to address it with the seriousness that it requires. When these criminals become serious, they will find us much more serious than they are. And we are going to deal with them in the most effective way. We didn't hear much about gender-based violence here today, but I want to raise the issue of gender-based violence, particularly because this is Women's Month. We are making progress in implementing the National Strategic Plan on gender-based violence and femicide through a partnership between government and civil society and communities. And I'm glad that some of the organizations that are here deal specifically with gender-based violence. We have introduced laws that are going to tighten up the control or our focus on gender-based violence. So we are going to be focusing on that much more. But we also want our community policing forums to work more effectively in this district and work hard to cooperate with the police on an ongoing basis. So people of Sedibeng, your government representatives have been here today, as MEC Maile said. Being here, we've been chosen by you to serve your interests, and I'm glad today that you have made use of the opportunity to put your issues before us, and as I said, the issues will be taken forward. The various issues that have been raised have been written down, and they will be taken forward. And we want you to continue to being active citizens, because active citizenry is key to the development of our democracy, and your involvement at municipal level as well as at community level is critical. Ke batla hore re sebetse mmoho. Gompieno re bontshane, kajeno lena re bontshane gore
This is Project CB News, where the truth matters.